Our next speaker, and again, I would like to encourage you to limit your remarks to 8 to 10 minutes at the most so that we can get through here. We do have to be out of here at 9 o'clock tonight. Aaron Dixon. Aaron Dixon is a longtime community organizer and activist in Seattle going back to the 1960s. He is a founder of the Black Panther Party in Seattle. He was a candidate on the Green Party ticket for U.S. Senate in 2006. He is the founder of Central House, which is a transitional housing program for homeless youth. And he has worked for many years on behalf of young and disaffected youth and to help to get them a better start in life. Welcome to Aaron Dixon.
Thank you for that warm welcome. These are really very difficult times, and particularly it's really difficult for those of us who have been around for the last 50 years or more. Because the conditions that we grew up in were a lot more sane. We live in a very insane time in American history. The fact that we have 2.5 million people in prison, that we've allowed 2.5 million people to be incarcerated, 60% of them African American and Latino, that's insanity, because there's no other country in the world that is anywhere near that. Matter of fact, you take all the countries in Europe combined, including China, and they don't come close to that number. We have the largest gap between the rich and poor of any industrialized nation in the world. Here we are, the richest country in the world, and we are moving towards a situation where we are pretty much slowly becoming a third world nation. And our politicians are to blame for a lot of this. And we look at what's happened over the last 8 years with the Bush administration. We look at what happened under the Clinton administration. Things have just gotten extremely dire, and it just doesn't. I sit and watch the news, and I watch the things that are happening, and things that have been happening, and I just keep asking myself, how do we allow this to happen? How do we continue to elect these politicians with these insane ideas and are so disconnected from the average person, the average human being in America that they seem to not have any consciousness? So we're going to have to take matters into our own hands, because if we don't, we're going to be in extremely very bad, difficult shape. Of course, we just had an African American president elected to the presidency. So there's a lot of promise there, but for a lot of us, leftists and activists, we read the paper, we read some of the things that he does, and we're happy. Then on the next page, we read some things that he's saying and does, and we feel very sad, we feel very angry. So it was the people that elected him as president. He just didn't fly in and just get elected himself. It was the people that elected him. And so it's the people that's going to have to change this situation. And what Tim said is very true, that Seattle has a long history of being a very progressive city. There have been a lot of really progressive things that have come out of Seattle. We have Larry Gossett on the King County Council. We have the potential to really set some examples and really to make some changes here in this city. And I think that this whole idea of building another jail when we have so many people that are homeless, You know, we have so many young people that are homeless, young people of color. You know, we have a transitional housing program, and we primarily, most of the young people that we see in our transitional housing program are African American. And this past November, December, we saw a large influx of young African American people coming to our transition house. We can only take up to 8, but we had young people sleeping on our couches because we just don't like to turn people away through the streets. So, you know, and I go to the park. I've been at some parks at night, and I've seen, you know, young kids walking around, young African American kids walking around, you know, sitting on the bench, and it's quite obvious that they were homeless. You know, wherever you drive early in the morning, you'll see young people just walking around aimlessly. And there's been a tremendous disconnect in our society, that we are so disconnected from these things that are happening to people that we really don't seem to really mind, or we really don't seem to care. So, you know, this is a call to action. You know, the fact that they want to put this jail over on us in this economic climate, and the fact that we have so many in prison is like they're saying to us that, you know, we're half asleep, we're stupid, we don't know what's going on. And we can put anything that we want to over on these people. Well, we have to stand up and say no. Know that you cannot do that. Not only must we launch a campaign to stop this jail, but we also have to launch a campaign to get some responsible human beings in political office, particularly in the mayor's seat. So I just want to support the battle to stop this jail, and I think that we can do it, and if we do it, it will be a tremendous victory for the people. And we will be able to set the example and set the agenda once we start to stop this jail from being built. We can send a clear message that we don't want any more prisons built in our state, that we want a fair hearing and fair trial. We want the young people who are still in prison to be able to get out the way that they're supposed to get out. You know, the fight continues, the battle continues, and we're going to stop this jail. Thank you.